recording this morning up at our natural swimming pool at Carr Creek Eco Lodge in the background. And this morning or today, whenever you're practicing, we're just going to do a flow I like to do first thing in the morning. So it's not required that you do it first thing in the morning. You can do it at any time that you need a little bit of a boost. But sometimes just to get the stagnant energy moving from the night's sleep, this flow is really great for that. So as always, we'll start with a seated meditation just to arrive on our mats in this practice. Taking a deep breath in through the nose, exhaling to sigh it out. And then begin to settle into your own ease and pace of breath here. Maybe you notice that the breath naturally begins to deepen. Noticing any sounds, smells, sensations of the air on your skin. Maybe sensations of one of your furry friends getting involved in your practice. Whatever comes up for you, just allow it. And see if you can come back to the breath. For maybe 2 or 3 more cycles of breath here in stillness. And then gently, as you're ready, begin to flutter light back into the eyes, opening your eyes. And then we're going to start with a few big circles. So moving with the body, arching your back as it rolls back, opening the chest as you roll forward, just from your hips and your tailbone, all the way up through the spine, just making big circles with the torso. Noticing any areas of stiffness or tightness. Breathing into them and maybe even spending some time in one area. If you find one area a little bit more stiff, you can pause. And then switching rotation. So if you've been rotating in just one direction, switching that rotation, sometimes other things come up. Good, and then pause when we come back with our shoulders over our hips. Allow the head to drop over to one side and then gently roll it all the way down through center and over to the other side. And again, gently down through center and over to the other side, and then begin to tilt it back, opening through the throat, and then bring it all the way around to the front. Chin draws towards the chest. And in the other direction, opening all the way up through the front space and down. chin to chest. Interlace the fingers, begin to turn the palms towards the front space, allow the head to lift back up. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, open as we draw the arms all the way down. Release the legs nice and wide. And then inhale, reach the arms up towards the sky. Exhale, hinge from the hips, fold forward, release the head and the neck. And then gently walk the hands over to one side, left or right, it doesn't matter. The same sided arm comes to the outside of the extended leg, and you lift the opposite arm up and over to really open up through this side rib cage. Keep spiraling so that the heart keeps turning up towards the sky. Crown of the head stays long, so if you notice your head kind of sinking down, see if you can align it with your spine. And then gently begin to come back through center and just switch sides. So other arm comes on the outside of that other extended leg, and you lift the other arm up and over just to get into that side body, rooting down through both sits bones evenly, stretching through the lower back and the side body. Keep spiraling that heart up towards the sky. And then gently come back through center. Inhale, both arms up again. Exhale, hinge from the hips, fold forward, release the head, release the neck. Whichever leg you went to second, walk the hands over to now. Arm on the outside of the leg. Inhale, open up. Exhale, let it go. And then begin to slowly switch sides. Opposite hand comes, or same sided arm comes to outside of the other leg. Deep breath in, deep breath out. And then gently come back through center one last time. Inhale, reaching the arms high. Exhale, hinge from the hips, fold forward. Release the head and the neck this time so that your chin draws towards your chest. And notice how that changes the stretch in your body. Feel the stretch along the spine. And then gently walk the hands back towards the pelvis. Bring the hands to the outsides of the knees to help them bend and hug in. And then coming into bridge pose, just to fire up the belly for a moment. Float the feet up, open the arms out, or you can keep them, the hands behind the knees, just not too much pressure there. Pointing the toes, opening up the chest towards the sky. Notice the breath, squeeze the belly in towards the spine for 3, 2, and 1. Release the legs down. Option here to either cross the legs and come over your legs that way, or you can simply swing them around to come, or around behind you, to come onto all fours. Now setting up on all fours, spread wide through the fingers, knees under hips, wrists under shoulders. Root down through the tops of the feet, shoulders down and away from the ears. Inhale, begin to tilt the pelvis up, open through the chest. Exhale to roll through the spine. Allow the head to draw between the arms. Inhale from the pelvis, and then vertebra by vertebra, you open through the chest. Exhale, curl the tailbone under as vertebra by vertebra. You begin to draw the head between the arms. Move at your own pace of breath for maybe 3 to 5 more cycles of breath. Curling the tailbone under. Really imagining here each and every vertebra moving in its own time. So our spine is a series of small vertebra bones, and they're all connected by discs and cartilage tissues that stay healthy. After we're 30, the fluid that keeps those cartilage nice and buoyant, the fluid only kind of makes more with movement. So that's why movement through the spine is so important. So coming to a neutral spine, tuck the toes under. Begin to lift the knees off the mat and just hover the knees here. Strong through the arms, draw the shoulders down and away from the ears by activating the muscles just at the side underneath the armpits. Squeeze the low belly and then lift the hips up to come to downward facing dog. Now in our first downward facing dog of the practice, always a nice idea to take a moment to bend into one knee, bend into the other, setting it up for the rest of your practice. Just allowing any tight, sticky spots, some space, some breath, shoulders down and away from the ears. And then inhale up onto the tippy toes. Begin to bend the knees, look towards the hands, and step one foot forward, the other foot forward, coming into a forward fold. Release the head, release the neck, and then bring opposite hand, opposite elbow for ragdoll pose. Just hang out here for a moment, breathing into the backs of the legs, the low back, the middle back, and the upper back. Gently release the hands down to the mat, bend into the knees, and slowly roll up vertebra by vertebra. Inhale, sweep the arms up, upward salute. Exhale, bend the knees, hinge from the hips. Begin to fold all the way forward. Release the head, release the neck. Heel toe the feet out. And with the toes slightly off the mat, heels pointing in, so at about a 45-degree angle, begin to lower down to come into a yogi squat just for a moment. Elbows root into knees, knees into elbows, hands come together at the center. Notice the breath here. Gently release the hands down to the mat. Root into the top, the front of the feet, the tops of the feet, like towards the toes. Lift the hips up. Bend into one knee. Bend into the other. Keep the right foot where it is to step the left foot back, coming into a lunge with that foot staying right as it is at a 45-degree angle. Bend into that front knee. Release the back knee down. You might want to fold your mat over for some extra padding or use a pillow of some sort, especially if the ground under your mat is really hard. And then inhale, begin to lift the arms up. If this feels like way too much, you can keep one, maybe the left hand on the ground, just for a little bit of support. But wherever you land, stay lifted through the heart and the chest. Opening up through that left hip flexor that runs along the front of our leg. And then gently begin to release the hands down to the mat. Tuck the back toes under to lift that back knee. Walk that right foot in so that it comes more underneath the torso. And then step the left foot forward to meet the right, coming into a forward fold. Release the head, release the neck. Bend into the knees to slowly roll up vertebra by vertebra. Inhale, lifting the arms up to the sky, upward salute. Exhale, hands come through the center. Bend the knees, hinge from the hips, folding all the way forward. Release the head, release the neck. heel toe the feet out, coming back to that Malasana or yogi squat. Gently lower the hips down towards the ground. Elbows root into the knees, knees into the elbows. Opening up through the chest and the heart. See if you can draw the shoulder blades at your back closer together, which will open through the collarbone. So sometimes we have a tendency to be hunched over in these Malasana yogi squats. So see if even just a little bit you can draw the chest open. Good. Gently release the hands down to the mat. Shift the body weight forward to lift the hips up. And then left foot stays right where it is to step that right leg back. Find your balance first here. And then draw the right knee down to the mat. Untuck the toes. Now, sorry, I have dog hair in my mouth. Option to keep right hand on the mat and just lift up through the left arm, or lift up through both arms, which really intensifies the stretch along this right hip flexor. Wherever you land, a little bit of engagement through the abdominals can help keep the stress out of your low back, although it is a nice stretch for the low back as well. Breathing into wherever you land. And then gently begin to release the hands down onto the inside of that left foot. Walk the left foot then in so that it comes underneath the torso. Tuck the back toes under, lift that back knee. Step the right foot forward to meet the left, coming into a forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, heart lifts, table back becomes flat. Release all the way down as you exhale. Bend into the knees as you slowly and gently roll up vertebra by vertebra. Good. Inhale, reaching the arms up to the sky. Exhale, let's visit chair pose. Sink the hips down. Find a twist by hooking the left elbow onto the right knee, opening up on this side. Just wringing out through the spine. Inhale through center. Exhale, sink the hips lower. Inhale, upward salute. Exhale, sink the hips, come back to chair pose. Take the twist on the other side, hooking that elbow with the knee, opening up towards the left. See if the twist can come right through the torso. So if you find that you're twisting in only one part of your back, see if you can adjust so that it's sharing the twist. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, sink a little bit lower. Inhale, reach up, upward salute. Exhale, hands come through center, bend the knees. Hinge from the hips, folding all the way forward. Release the head, release the neck. Inhale, halfway lift, heart looks forward. Exhale, hands to the mat. We'll do one flow, so planting the hands, step back through plank. Lower the knees down or keep them lifted. As we lower to the mat, inhale, cobra or up dog. Exhale, lower down to lift up. And come into downward facing dog, lifting the hips up towards the sky. Lifting all 10 toes off the mat and then gently lowering them down. Inhale, lifting the heels up off the mat. Exhale, knees to the mat. Bring the knees nice and wide. Sink the hips back and then lower the forehead down to child's pose. You can keep your arms extended long, or you can bend at the elbows if it's a bit too much on your shoulders. Allow the belly to just rest. the breath to be full here. Gently shift the body weight forward, bring the knees back under the hips, and then gently sit to one side to come back to a seat. Rooting down through the sits bones, opening up through the chest and the heart, rolling the shoulders up towards the ears and then down away from the ears. Inhale, reach the arms high, hands come together at the top. Exhale, hands come down through heart center. May any goodness from this yoga practice resonate out to all beings everywhere. Namaste.